Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, June 4th, and we are looking at Window Traders' market profile of the SPY, IWM, and triple Qs. And like one of my good traders say in the room, this market loves to tease and delight one and all as they tediously grinded their way up. Finally get the regular trading hour all-time high in SPY. Get it in the ES, and they tag it so it's a week high, and we still have overnight highs as the all-time high in both ES and SPY. Russell, once again, look at Russell, does not come out of its IB. It's amazing how they have so much trouble doing that at times. Never got out of their IB. They end 10 wide. SPY, ES, NQ, triple Q go out with trend days. We have two sets of single prints. They're both very small. And I know a lot of people don't use N period. I do not. So if you use an N period in ES, they fill J singles. I do not. So I still have J's and I singles. Triple Qs have one set in B. They end 8 wide. We only end 6 wide. We have a lowest accepted price for the second day in a row. That's rare. So after attempting to get below last week's low and absolutely failing yesterday, the market took off from B period yesterday, and today after we gapped higher, B opened, never looked back, and kept going. Really interesting. The volume, again, when you make new highs and you continually do it on emotional trading, which is these gaps and lack of tempo and horrible volume, it's just, that's poor structure. At some point you want the big boys in there really buying this thing, right? You want to get a nice concrete foundation with heavy volume and things of that nature. That's not happening. Doesn't mean we can't keep making all-time highs, but you would like that. Now, another very positive thing, we had an outside week up in SPY and ES. That's very positive. We were thinking about an outside week down the other day. Now, when we get to the charts, and I'll be doing the charts on all three of these, one thing to keep in mind, we had an outside week up in SPY 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was a disaster the next week. We barely missed the all-time high that Monday, and then we went down $18, and that's the bottom of the balance, 479. So buyers are going to hope not to have a replay of that this coming week. I only traded SPY today. Again, I didn't do a lot of trading today. There wasn't a lot there for me. I did nothing but longs in A, B, and C. That all worked out nicely. I traded the 419 calls in A. I traded the 420 calls in B. So in A period, I took the calls against the gap. In B period, I took it against the lowest accepted price. In C period, I took it because we were continuing a one-time frame up. And I held it into D, actually. So I had a nice A, B, and C period on longs. Nothing really big. I didn't take any huge plays. Then I didn't do anything till I. I was waiting. I was hoping that we had pulled back. When E and F, I was hoping that came later. I was looking for an afternoon pullback low. We never got it. I was looking to get to around value low at the time. And against B's low, never happened, so I never got in on that long, and that was really the last opportunity to get long because then they just grinded higher. I did try a short actually in I. I'm like, well, we're 6 wide. Maybe before we go for the all-time high, I fade it and we come back in and round out and get a wider POC. I did the 424 puts. I made money on 10 of them, lost money on 15 of them, ended up losing money on it. Not a lot, but I knew I was wrong, and boy was I smart to get out because it never came back. And then in K period, I took a long against the single prints, made money on that. So believe it or not, I made all my money on longs today. And then I actually did a straddle. I did the 422.50 straddle, and right when M started, I'm like, I know there's no tempo or volume, but maybe M period will give me up. I didn't care which way it went then. I didn't care if we took out K's higher and ripped higher, or if it took out L's low and ripped lower. Now, it did take out K's high, but by the time it did it, it was getting eaten away. I actually I scratched on it. I made pennies on it. So, but it was a good day. Definitely a better day than yesterday, where I made really very little. Decent start to the week. No complaints at all. Again, don't short a dull market. This market is for people who keep continuing to try to short it. It has to be really frustrating. All right, destinations for Monday. There's only 2 destinations on the upside. 422.92, all-time high. It is now a weekly high. Don't forget that. So it's the intermediate time frame right off the bat. Then we have that pre-market all-time high of 423.31 from May 10th. So the ES has a poor all-time high in regular trading hours, and they still have an overnight all-time high. Now, one other important note, and I didn't change on the chart. I have to. Today's low is 420.68. In SPY. They're showing 418.84. They're showing the gap fill. That is not correct. I'll correct it after the video. But when you see the chart, it's going to show that it's filled. It is not filled. Now, for the downside, we had a price probe. K's high, 422.65. 2 sets of single prints, both very small. 422.33 get filled at 21. That's L's low to I's high. And then J's low to D's high of 422.14 to 422.02, only 12 cents. B was the lowest accepted price of 421.23. Today's low of 420.68, filling the gap at 419.99, a 69-point gap. Then we have 10 wide, 419.16, I'm sorry, from yesterday. Don't forget, we had a trend day yesterday, double distribution day. 419.72 get filled at 24. 417.03 lowest accepted price yesterday, and 416.28 a weekly low now. Now, let's get to the charts. And again, I'm going to break down all of them. So it'll be a longer video, but hopefully you guys enjoy these and they help you. Okay. And if you do like them, I'd appreciate hitting the like button. I really do appreciate that. Let's start with Russell. Russell's frustrating the hell out of people who trade it. I can tell you that. We finally stopped the one-time framing up last month. So we're now basically in a 4-month balance. Okay? So we're in a balance. 4-month balance. Weekly. This is the real frustrating one. Here's the week I keep talking about from March 22nd. 228.10 is the high of it. 10 weeks now. 10 weeks. 2.5 months. Only once did we take it out, the high of it. And we came right back in. We've never taken out the low of it. 10 weeks inside this range. Now, it's a big range. I get it. Well, actually, it's not that big. Now that it's $20. I take that back. It is big. It's $20. So it's 10% of where we're trading. So it's a $20 range. But we've spent 10 weeks inside of it. I'm telling you, at some point, now we have come out of an inside week last week to the upside and again this week. Now, a lot of people will consider this one, they'll call the weekly up because it's one time framing up 2 weeks. I can't call it up. I'm still, just like in SPY, I'll show you. This is just balance to me. Until you get acceptance above either 228.10 and more likely 230.95, this is balance for me. Today we got up to 228.05 and failed. That's the high today. You think it's 228.06, I'm sorry. You think it's a visual market against short-term traders? Look at the 20 and 50-day moving average. Look, because of the balance we're in. Look at how tight they're trading. Balance. 3-day balance in Russell. So all 3 time frames are balanced. And what does that mean? It's a market waiting for more market-generated information. It stinks, but you have to have patience. Triple Qs. Balance in the monthly. Weekly. Now, this one, we had an inside week last week. We stopped the one-time framing down. I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago we had an inside week. We stopped the one-time framing down last week, and now we got above last week's high today. So, again, you can call this up if you want, because it took out this little balance. The next destination is 340. Again, it's so subjective. You want to call it balance still, you can. You want to call it up, you can. I would call this up, though, in the triple Qs for the weekly. So balance in the monthly, up in the weekly, and the daily. Actually, that wasn't, we never took out last week's low. And the daily, we went from balance to down, back to balance. So the daily is still balanced. So even though it has a great day today at 1.7%, all we did was what? Come back into this 6-day balance. Okay? So balance, up, balance in the triple Qs. And the NQ. Now let's go to SPY and ES, because they're going to be the same. Monthly. Healthiest out of all the indices. One time framing up. What is it, 7 months? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is month 8. It's only the first week, but we did make a new high today. Even if we didn't. So your one time framing up, you want to just say 7 months for now, be my guest. Healthy. Weekly. I'm still calling this balance. Yes, we came out of an inside week 2 weeks ago to the upside, and we're one time framing up 2 weeks, but we barely took out the all-time high today by 10 cents, and we closed back inside of it. So I am still calling the weekly balance. However, it was an inside week up, an outside week up. We took out last week's low, closed above last week's high. Bullish. However, look at 4 weeks ago. We had an outside week up when we had the all-time high, the one we just took out today. Right? We closed at 422.12. On that Monday, we opened at 422.50, went to 422.74, and then came in $18 to 404.79. So buyers certainly don't want a repeat of what happened 3 weeks ago when they had the last outside week up. We'll see if they get legs, right? If we can break above here and get a new set of legs up, it'll be interesting. And then on the daily, just like triple Qs, we came out of that balance down yesterday, back to balance. So monthly's up, weekly's balance with an outside week up, and daily is balance. Right now, 53 million shares on the tape, really horrendous volume. The week's volume, again, it was only 4 days, right? 214, just under 215 million. That's really, really light. I still firmly believe buyers are going to need somebody else, some reinforcements to get some good volume if they're going to finally break out of this balance to the upside and get legs that make it healthy. I hope you had a great day trading and a great week. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Enjoy your weekend, stay safe, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.